Hey everyone, how's it going? Sarah here. And today we get to reveal a card in the upcoming set of Set 4 of Champions TCG. So I got to look at a handful of different cards, and I picked what I believe is quite possibly the strongest card in the upcoming set, or one of the strongest cards in the upcoming set. And that is going to be Bofa Tinkertime. So Bofa has the effect Time Warp. And what Time Warp will do is, you play the unit, and you can target anything you want, and it will force that unit to evolve one stage. Well, as many stages it says on the number. So Bofa says Time Warp 1, so it'll evolve at one stage. And it's a crazy powerful effect. If you think about it, it's a lot like Windseeker, but it is slightly different, because when you evolve a card from hand, you do draw a card when you play a card evolved from hand. Bofa Tinkertime will not give you a card draw when you activate it, but it's still excellent at like just tempoing you out. And one of the cool things about this card is when you use it, you can use it on a card that just entered play that turn. So something you could do is like, you could play like a Windseeker. So I'm trying to think of like a good example. Let's say like a Mechadrone, right? Or Mechadrone and Mechafly. You can play the Mechafly, bounce something, and then Time Warp the Mechafly and bounce something again. And that would be cost like 6 mana for two bounces. So Bofa Tinkertime is like really strong, I think, when it comes to like tempoing out. Another use I saw for what you can do with Bofa is you can let's say you play Joltilla and you attack your opponent for 8, and then you can Bofa the Joltilla and immediately evolve it into the Thunderilla and hit them for 16, and you'd be able to get 2 attacks in one turn. So you actually do like way more damage than if you were to just play like 2 supercharge units in the same turn. I mean, that's just like 2 examples. There are so many things you could do with this card. Like I think even just like playing something like an Earthquake and then just evolving it to a second Earthquake, or like any kind of thing where you can like double dip on the effect, where you can play it and then activate the effect again. So like the Straw Bash into the Barricade is also like a great example of that. And for that, you'll spend 6 mana. You'll get a Barricade in play, you'll get a Bofa Tinkerton in play, and you'll have drawn 2 cards. And those 2 cards could have also potentially activated another evolution that you might have in play on that turn. So Bofa is just like crazy good. I think he's going to enable tons of plays. He's got an amazing stat line, being a 3 mana 5/7 on top of everything else. He's like bigger than the Straw Bash. He doesn't draw a card, but I think that's fine. The main thing with Bofa is you kind of need like other things to play with him. But I think that won't be an issue. I think you'll be able to do that pretty consistently. And I think this guy will also enable, like, he'll change the way maybe you build decks a little bit. I think you're going to want to play even more evolutions than before because of this. One interesting thing about Bofa is, like, say you don't have the evolution in your deck, they'll still trigger. Like, you can evolve a card into something that you don't have in your deck. So it's just like, it's really useful. Imagine you play like an Astraling, you evolve the Astraling, and then you wanna, I forget what the name of the card that evolves out of Astraling, but say you have that thing in play. That thing can evolve again. And most of the time you play like 2 Astralings and 1 Voidra, that's the name. You play 2 Astralings and 1 Voidra. Most people never play the Singularity one. But with Bofa, you can have access to it without actually playing the Singularity one. Another thing I'm thinking of is like people would play the Leaf. Oh, well, let's say Spriggan instead. Spriggan and then the Flordrigan. You can evolve it into the third one, and people usually don't play a third one, but you might get use out of it. So it's just a really neat card. I think Bofa is going to be one of the strongest cards in the upcoming set, and I'm excited to see what this card's going to do. I like the design of this card. Windseeker was my favorite mechanic previously, and I think Bofa does Windseeker, but in a different class, like a different element, which I think is great. Like, I would love to see fire have its own type of Windseeker as well, or like water, or like any of these other colors have that type of thing. But for now, we have Windseeker and we have Time Warp now in Cosmic, which I think is great. And looking forward to playing this one. Also, I really love the art as well. The tiny little like gnome wizard or whatever, dude. Dwarf wizard. I'm not even sure what he is, but the art's sick. Yeah. Alright, so that's what I got for you guys today. Bofa Tinkertime. Never late. I'm looking forward to this one. See y'all later.